Hey guys, welcome back to Stat Chat Sports. We're here with our round 16 preview, the AFL season. Look, we're a bit different tonight. Josh, for I think the first time, has been relegated to the twos. So this week, you've got me, Tazza, we got Steve, and we have BT. How are we, boys?
Well, mate.
That's good.
Joshy needs to step it up to come back.
He does.
Look, lose his spot.
Yeah, a week in the twos might do him some good after that terrible bold prediction he put up last week. But we'll get to that. We'll review that. But initially, like always, we will look this week at our hits, miss, and hold fire. All right, for the hit, Steve, where are we going this week?
Going back to the top, boys. The D's are there again. They absolutely deserve to be it. Absolutely dismantled them. Absolutely destroyed them. Piss take. If you have to put it that way. As that's for a top of the table clash. It didn't really have that sort of feel about it, I don't think, because after the second quarter, it wasn't really a contest. So, the Melbourne, they just destroyed them all over the park. We spoke about it because it was our game of the week, how important the likes of Lockie Neal and stuff would be, and he was just nowhere to be found. Whereas Petrarca and Oliver again, both over 30 disposals for Melbourne, so they were the difference makers in the end. But yeah, look, I think Melbourne are well and truly back now.
Yeah, I think we look at the big inclusion here. Stephen May, he himself didn't have the greatest game, but it really allowed Jake Lever for me. BT, do you agree? I think he probably had his best game, just about his best game in a Melbourne jersey.
Oh, I completely agree. I think having May back, just even if he doesn't get the ball that much, just having that structure there, him playing that quarterback role, directing everyone where to go, just clearly made a big difference. I saw this stat today that without May there, the points against is 77. With May there, it's 65. So 11 points difference just from one player. And this was without Max Gawn, where I think we touched on this last week and for the game of the week. And Ruckman, Max Gawn, obviously a good player, but a fullback or a full forward type personality is way more important, in my opinion, than a Ruckman.
No, I agree.
That further proves the point,
Yeah, I think, the spine of your team, I mean, those two players, along with your midfield, make the core of your team. So you take that out, then it's going to be trouble. But him coming back was huge. Steve, is he the most valuable player in the competition? Not stats based, but is he the most crucial player to Melbourne? Does anyone come close to that?
Probably not in Melbourne's team. I mean, I suppose you would look at the Gawn out as to be maybe the next big out for them because he's their skipper and all that, and they've just proved that it made very little to no difference. and we all saw what happened when Stephen May wasn't in the team. 3 weeks, 3 losses. So for Melbourne, I don't really think there's anyone as big as Stephen May that would affect them if they lose it. So, every team sort of has that one or two, maybe, players that, if they lose, they sort of drop. But Stephen May is that guy for them, 100%.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's also interesting to see James Harmes in a tagging role. It was to the detriment of my fantasy, and I think most of our fantasies, considering we've probably all got Lockie Neal, and he hurt us all there. But it was very interesting from my point of view for it just to show Lockie Neal that respect. I think was quite interesting this week. Looking to our miss, BT, where are we going this week?
Back to back, St Kilda, the shit team of the competition.
Yeah.
They got dismantled by Sydney. They were terrible. Even if you didn't watch the game and just purely look on stats, you'll think, pretty close game. Nothing really different in stats at all. But they could not hit a target when they were going forward at all. No Bradley Hill, Jack Sinclair getting tagged. So they could not move that ball as soon as it went into Sydney's forward line. It just got locked in there.
Yeah, I saw the stat on that. 47% Sydney inside 50 efficiency to St Kilda at 34%. So, a huge discrepancy there. And I mean, 13% might not sound like a lot, but when you're hitting 50, you're doing pretty well. When you're hitting 30s, it's pretty terrible stuff. So, yeah. Do we see maybe there was probably a flow-on effect there from the right absence? Maybe Marshall going into the ruck, losing that presence up forward. Obviously, Max King goalless for the first time this season. Was that flow-on effect really felt as not having another option up forward for them?
I was definitely could have played a factor, but Tim Emery went deep forward when the last few weeks or so he's been playing a lot up the ground, like a high half forward put into defence. So they obviously pushed him deep, which probably negates that. But losing, obviously, Paddy Ryder is one of the best ruck taps in the game, and Marshall's clearly one of the better rucks when he's solo rucking. So I would have played a factor, but not to the extent of how bad they got beaten.
We'll touch on the bold predictions a bit later for this week, but we will revisit Josh's one at this point. He had Max King for 8 goals and the Saints to win. He's picked the worst week to get on Max King for 8 goals when he didn't kick a single goal. I mean, talk about bad timing.
I think he only had, from memory, watching the game, I don't know the stat, maybe 1, maybe 2 shots on goal. And not easy shots at all. He didn't even look like marking the ball at all.
Nah. And that's, I agree. Like maybe the flow-on effect of having to push Marshall into the ruck and then having that one less target up there. Maybe as soon as you isolate Max King, I think it becomes a real problem for them. And that leads to another query I have. Are the Saints too one-dimensional with if Max King is isolated and is shut down? Are they too one-dimensional and do they rely too much on him?
Well, they don't have these midfielders that can kick goals either. I don't know where else they can find goals unless he kicks his minimum 3 a game. They're out of it.
Yeah,
and like you said, without Paddy Ryder, it's even harder. They double teamed him a lot of that game. But the McCartan brothers, they were just all over him. Yeah, I completely agree with that. They're not making finals with the run they have. Yeah. They play 5 of the top 8 teams. They have the next 8 games. And one of those other games is the Eagles at home, where they're starting to hit a little bit of form. So that's not going to be a completely easy beat.
Yeah.
So, and the other one, Hawthorn and Bulldogs as well. Just every chance they could maybe win 1, maybe 2 of the next 8, and no shot making finals.
What do you reckon, Steve?
That was going to be my question to put forward, to be honest, because now that they're out of the 8, will they make it back in? But PT's just answered that, and yeah, to be honest, I probably agree. They out of those that bunch that are in that same bracket as them at the moment, yeah, they definitely are that sort of team not on form. Out of like Richmond, Bulldogs, Collingwood, those teams that are Collingwood are on 36, but Bulldog and Richmond both on 32 points. Yeah, St Kilda aren't looking pretty in that bunch between those 3 teams at least.
Yeah, I think given the Saints draw, they'd need to be on the inside looking out, not the outside looking in. So the fact that they're out now, you can't count anyone from pretty much 11 or 12 out of the race yet, mathematically anyway. But they're going to struggle. It's an uphill battle for them, in my opinion. All right, hold fire. My segment. Fremantle this week. Just a little bit. I mean, I think you look at Fremantle, they beat Carlton at home. Obviously, Freo are very good at home, but they have travelled to Melbourne. They've beat Melbourne in Melbourne. And I think people gave Freo a genuine shot this week, and they kind of crumbled. To me, the midfield just really didn't get it done. I think it was 44 clearances to 30, I think, if I remember right. So, I mean, first use of the ball, for Carlton was there. Freo are a very uncontested team, so if they don't get first use of the ball, they can't control the ball. So, I mean, it was all downhill from there for me. How do you see the game, BT? It was a bit disappointing. I think a lot of people really gave Freo a chance.
Yeah, but I like exactly you said. It's those big body midfielders where Fremantle are struggling against. It happened the same against St Kilda as well, with your Brad Crouch and Jack Steele. As soon as you get these big tackling type players, which exactly with your Paddy Cripps and your Kennedys and Hewitt, these tackling type Walsh, he's just a ball magnet anyway. But yeah, and then they've got the two big forwards. So as soon as they win those clearances, especially center clearances, it's very hard to stop them. And Fremantle are relying way too much on that kick mark game, and you're not gonna get that if you not win the ball first. So I think you nailed it on the head right there.
Yeah. So Carlton are number 1 for uncontested possessions, and Freo number 3. So it really did come down to the battle at the coalface. Really, I mean, it needed to be won there to gain the control around the rest of the ground, and the way the teams do play, you need that domination of the ball. So, I mean, yeah, a very clear win for Carlton there. Looking at Freo and their finals aspirations, they've taken it to the big teams. But Steve, is there a team that needs home ground advantage throughout the finals as much as Freo to ensure success?
No, Freo are that team. Absolutely. Given the very little experience that they have in finals as it is, the most home finals that they can have, that gives them the best chance. Absolutely. Like BT said, I mean, we've seen them, beat teams at the G and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, finals is just a whole different kettle of fish. So, and I mean, there wouldn't be many players in that team that's got finals experience. So, to be able to play the games at home gives them the best shot for me.
Yep, agreed. Very well done, boys. 3 very good hit, misses, and hold fires for this week.